how are you? So I am back with the same look, and we did the eye look today, so that's super exciting. I'm going to use this new Zodiac palette from BH Cosmetics. I am a long time fan of BH Cosmetics Baked Shadows. So this is what it looks like. Ooh, so excited. We are also going to use another baked BH product, which is the Wild and Radiant Baked and Illuminating Palette and bronzer. I'm going to use that today. I'm also testing out this new Milani Make It Last setting spray. We're also going to be using this Wet n Wild contouring palette in Caramel Toffee. Oldie but a goodie. And then I broke out some of products that I had gotten in like old hauls, stuff that I hadn't used yet, or like this, I used it and didn't like it, but I found a new way to use this cushion highlight from Wet n Wild. I also broke out this Bite Beauty lip gloss in Honey, this e.l.f. matte duo blush in Rosy Flush, this Urban Decay Glide On eyeliner in Perversion, and I also used this a sample of this Marc Jacobs Undercover Perfecting Coconut Eye Primer to see how that worked out. I also pulled out one of my Urban Decay Vice lip palettes because I never used these and I didn't want them to go to waste, so I'm going to actually try to use them and get ready with me's because these shades you can just buy separately if you like them, and so I use the shade Conspiracy, and I just want to try to use this up because it's just going to waste. So that's what I was using today on my eyes and such, and I hope you enjoy this video. In this video we're going to be talking about why I pre-film, so that's some things we're going to talk about. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're not one of my little Monets, please consider becoming one and subscribing. I will see you next time, and let's get into the video. Bye. Okay, so we're gonna get into the rest of the look. Got some new ears, so excited. I really want like rhinestone ears, but I haven't found them where they're like big enough, like the ear part is big enough. So still on the look for that. We're going to break out the new BH Cosmetics palette, then we'll just do cheeks and lips and all that jazz, so let's get to it. I have been a fan of BH Cosmetics, their baked formula, for a really long time. I haven't necessarily liked their other formulas, but the baked one is something that I have liked. So this is the Zodiac palette, but this is what it looks like. I don't think they lined them up with the actual colors of like what that, you know, like the birthstone or anything, because this here is the Pisces. These two, which is amazing. Like, they're beautiful. I love their big shot. I'm so excited to use this. So what should we do today? I feel like I don't do a lot of like wearable looks, so let's go a little neutral with a little bit of jazzy pizzazz. I got a sample of this Marc Jacobs Undercover Perfecting Coconut Eye Primer. Oh, I love coconut. So let's try this. I'm going to use this little Real Techniques brush in 102, and it's like this weird like triangular brush. I found very specific ways to use this brush. One of them is for eye primer because it covers such a great huge area, and the other ways is to use like those really silicone-y like pore primers and just like flat press it in to the pores, and I think that this brush works very well for that. It's supposed to be just for like concealer places, but I mean, I don't really conceal over top of foundation. I mean, almost never, so I'm not saying it wouldn't work for that. It just wouldn't serve my purposes in that way, because that's not how I do things around here. Now that I've placed the product, I'm going to go ahead and use my finger. Oh, it's pretty sticky and it has a little bit of a color, so if you have some issues with maybe some veinage or whatever, discoloration on your eyelids, this would help that. Okay, Mark, I'm not mad. They have so many shades, but I usually like an all over color to be a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna go into this Book of Beauty, this Brow Book of Beauty by from Pixie by Petra, and I'm gonna use this color here to set my primer. I'm gonna use this Real Techniques in 200. It's a big brush. It covers a lot of area. Next, we're going to start working into the crease, and we are going to use the matte color that goes with Aquarius here. And I'm going to grab my Sonia Kashuk brush, fluffy crease brush. So if you have noticed and known, read the description in any of my videos, I always put in that I wear exclusively kiss and press on nails. My last like billion videos, I haven't been wearing nails at all. FYI, there is some kick up on this color, but I tend to just go back in and use whatever was kicked up until I'm done with the look. So we're just working this into the crease as a transition. So I noticed that there was a little bit of, I've had an issue with two of my nails, and I was still using like the press-ons, but an important part that I didn't realize is like I needed to put a little time between press-on nails just to let my nails breathe. And there was a time period there where I was just like putting them on like back to back to back. As soon as I took one off, I'd prep and put another one on, and it started to sort of weaken my natural nails. So I'm growing them out, and they're almost grown out, so I think I'm just gonna, you know, more often just take some time in between the nails. So that's just a, like, why I don't have nails on. I don't believe in painting my nails. I'm not interested in that. So next, I mean, that matte was super smooth. I like it. It really clung nicely to the base shade, so that's good. Okay, next I think I'm gonna go ahead and deepen up the crease a little bit. I'm going to use one of my favorite brushes, which is the Luxie 231 small tapering brush. And I'm going to go in with the matte color that corresponds with Scorpio. And I'm going to concentrate this on the outside. And I like to do sort of circular motions. See, there is a little powderness, a little bit of kick up. Okay, now I'm going to take the brush that I used originally for the Aquarius matte color, and I'm going to use that to blend this in. Nice. And then I'm going to go one step further and just deepen that, just the outer V. I'm going to use this matte Pisces shade. So I'm going to take this Real Techniques 201. I think it's supposed to be a crease brush, but I'm going to use it to really stamp in. And this brush picks up a lot. And this brown is pigmented. So I'm going to use it to really stamp in that sort of outer V, just right there, and I'm going to leave it right there. And I'm not going to blend right yet. I'm going to put some more colors on and then blend that in. I think I want to use this Pisces shade on the lid, so I want to see what it looks like. Normally I found with BH Cosmetics Baked Shadows, they work best foiled. I'm going to take this So Susan brush. There's no name. I got this out of a BoxyCharm. And I'm just going to see what this shade looks like not foiled. Yeah, so just as I suspected. I mean, it gives off color, but Bake shadows, especially BH Cosmetics bake shadows, they go to the next level when you foil them. So let's go ahead and foil this and you'll see the difference. So this is sort of just dry. I mean, it's not bad. Sometimes I actually like to go in with the shadow dry to give like sort of a base and then go foil it. So I'm going to use one of my favorite foiling brushes, which is this Tarte sort of flat eyeshadow unicorn brush they had with a, I don't know, Make Believe in Yourself line or whatever. And what I'd like to do is coat both sides of the brush. And then spray. And I'm using my trusty that you've seen, the Real Colors Stay in Spray makeup setting spray. I like the nozzle on this for foiling. And then I'm going to use sort of these like wiping strokes as opposed to like a back and forth. I mean, that made all the difference. It's weird. It's like this sort of like rosy gold color when you foil it out. It's more brown in the pan. It's performing just like the other bake shadows that I love from BH, so they need to be foiled. Ugh. What do you think? I like it. Okay, so next I want to go in with the brush that we used. This was for the Scorpio shade, and I'm going to work in some of this inner corner and bring it in and just smooth it out a little bit. I mean, people will ask me, they'll stop me and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I love your eyeshadow. Like, you know, the truth about eyeshadow is, you know, practice makes perfect. And I think it's helpful, like, even if you don't do YouTube or want to do YouTube, to film yourself doing makeup a few times, because you can see it from a different perspective and like, oh, okay, I see where I missed blending, or, you know, this technique worked or didn't work, or what have you. I feel like it's super helpful. The other thing is, you know, the key to good eyeshadow is layering, transitioning, and blending. I mean, for these, like, you know, more deep gradient looks, that's what you're basically doing. It's just like any type of painting or creativity. That layering just brings depth, and, you know, blending is key. Okay, so next I'm going to take, because I want to sort of, I feel like there's not enough, like, there's too much of a delineation here. I want to sort of, you know, fade that into the brow. So I'm going to go ahead and take the matte shade from the Virgo, and I am going to use this from Urban Studio, which is also Kala brushes, and just get a little bit, and I'm definitely going to knock off a lot of excess on this because I don't want to have a, you know, I just want it to be gradiated. Gradiated? I want a gradation. Gradation? Whatever. Ugh, I love that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about while we were doing this is an update on my low and no buy. As I'm applying this, we will go ahead and talk about that. I think I'm going to concentrate and pull some of this pink shade in to the inner corner using this Leo shade, and we're going to foil that as well. And to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and get this Real Techniques smudge brush and concentrate right in the center there. So my low no buy is actually, it's going quite well. So I am on a no buy on the things that I just don't need, and for that it's like eyeshadow palettes I don't need anymore. Now I did just get this one from BH Cosmetics, so I'd say I'm not like not buying it all, but I do feel like I am really thinking about and thinking much more about how something fits into my collection. Is there a hole? Do I need this? Do I already have this? And the thing with this palette is I do have a lot of their baked shades, but I don't have any mattes from BH Cosmetics. And do I have mattes? Yes. But I do feel like this would be a great palette to have where it could be complete looks. And I have very few palettes that you can have a complete look all the time. And I could just go full matte or what have you. So I did get this, but I also made sure that I got it not only when it was on sale, but also when I had a coupon code. So I got it for significantly less. I'm gonna pluck some stray hairs, stray brow hairs. And then the other thing is, if I am purchasing things, I'm kind of steering away from high-end products. So I, in general, don't have a lot of foundations. It's just not something that I necessarily felt like I needed or what have you. So I was running low on some of my foundations, and instead of going back and buying high-end, I've been really trying to find some drugstore options. So I think in that way, I'm saving a tremendous amount of money. The other thing I've noticed is when I'm buying, like if I buy something online, right now I'm a VIB Rouge still for Sephora, so I get free 2-day shipping. So I'm one that loves to go in the store, but if, like, for instance, I use a solid cleaner for my sponges and I ran out of that. Could I have gone down to my Sephora and gotten another one? Sure. And that one I did. I actually tried a couple different ones, and the only one that I liked is one from Beauty Blender, and it just works, and it lasts forever. Some of the other ones I felt like it went through it in like a week. I mean, I'm washing brushes every week. I rotate, but I do wash. And so instead of going into store and purchasing that, because that's what I wanted, I have free 2-day shipping anyway, I just ordered that online. And that's not usually like me. I'm usually like, oh, I'll go to the store, and then I end up, you know, coming out with like $100 worth of stuff. So in that respect, I definitely have changed. The other thing is, I recently started bullet journaling, and I have a page where my thing that gets me is like, I'll watch other YouTubers and then be like, oh my gosh, I need that, I need that, I need that. So I've actually been making a list. And I go through and highlight. I'll highlight what's missing in my collection, what I think I really want, and then, you know, when it comes time for me to go shopping, I only purchase things that are either on sale or that have, you know, I really wanted, or purchase things that I still want. Like, a lot of times I'll be like, you know what, I actually changed my mind on that, and that has really been helping me. And then as I'm making this list, I'm kind of like, well, I just got this thing that's just like that, so I don't even need it. It's also going to be a visual way for me to see what on that list I actually ended up buying, as opposed to I just wanted it because somebody on YouTube told me. So that's been helping. So overall, I have really lessened the amount of stuff that I have bought. Am I on a complete no buy? No. But I'm also doing stuff to try to recoup money too. So I have a Poshmark account, and I've been going through my collection. There's so many things that have never been used, never been touched, and I've been selling those on Poshmark, and you know, it's going really well. So I'm happy with that. I think if I stayed at this level of makeup buying, I would be fine. It's not excessive. It's more thought out. So that's my goal, is to just really think, like, do you need this? Do you have this in your collection? And sometimes it's stuff like, yeah, I really am going to need it, but I don't need it now. Like, I still had some foundation I could use up. So once I got to the point where I needed it, then I went and bought some drugstore type things. So, and the other thing is, there's certain things that I've switched, like to my brow products, I've switched to NYX and like BH Cosmetics, and I actually like them better than There's one thing from Benefit that I can't not use, but other than that, like I used to like Anastasia and all the stuff, and I'm like, I don't even like them anymore. So it's actually switched my taste by trying to find things that were less expensive. So that's that. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my Benefit Highbrow. I'm trying to use these up. I have so many of these. These things for like, if you want, oh my God, if you want something to put under the brow and even in the inner corner, these pencils for their price is like beyond worth it. They are thick. They last forever. I use them right underneath here, and you could really use them as inner corner or even underneath. You know, I'll use it underneath today just to set as a base, and we'll see what that looks like. But I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. So that's where I am with the low no buy. There are definitely things that I'm not buying. I'm not buying any eyeliners ever. I'm not buying any mascaras. Like, there are certain things that I'm just not buying, period, point blank. I don't need them. I don't use them. Lipsticks, that's difficult, but I have so many lipsticks. Like, I don't know if you can see. So all those right there are lipsticks, and I'm going to pan you over to the other part. Yeah, that's the other part of my beauty room. Look, all that there is lipsticks. I don't need lipsticks. So that's one thing I have not been buying. And it's lipsticks, man, it's hard. I think it's super hard not to buy lipstick. Anyway, maybe it's just me. All right, so let's go ahead and take the bake off. I'm going to go ahead and use this brush from Sonia Kashuk and fluff away this bake and any of this fallout. My 13-year-old, I got this palette in the mail, and he just randomly was like, I hope there's no fallout. I was like, do you know what fallout is? He's like, yeah, when it like crumbles up and gets all in the makeup, all over the makeup and all over your vanity. I was like, okay. Okay, and then just to brighten up and smooth out this under eye area, I'm actually going back to an oldie but goodie. I had a new one of these, and like this shade completely crumbled, and I was so sad. But this was the Wet n Wild Contouring Palette in Coffee, Caramel Toffee. I obviously need coffee. And so we're going to use the yellow shade. I used to exclusively use this yellow shade, and then I had a coupon. So Wet n Wild at CVS was like buy one get one, and then I also had a coupon, so I got this super cheap. Not that, I mean, it's not expensive. This reminds me so much of a Marc Jacobs split pan that they have. I've used this for years and loved it. I'm going to go ahead and use this brush from Kala. It's like sort of like a contouring, like dense brush. Bring it into this yellow shade. I just poked myself in the eye. I'd gotten away from using any like yellow colored powders for a while. Like, seriously. This is just how I use powder. Like, you don't need to use this much. It doesn't have to kick up this much. I just go ham, basically. I go ham on it. So I'm testing out a new foundation. This Super Stay from Maybelline. Full coverage foundation. I don't know how I feel, because I feel like if you can see, like there's, I don't know if I didn't put enough there. Like, you can definitely see like my skin peeking out. I am going to highlight, so it's not going to matter, but still. So we'll see. Might not be a fan. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go in with some color on the lower lash line, and I want to use this fun Aquarius color, which is sort of this really interesting duochrome thing happening. So it's right there. I think that'll be really awesome on the lower lash line. So I'm going to prep the lower lash line with that highbrow. So I'm going to take the Benefit Highbrow and just go ahead and put it on my lower lash line so that the shadow has something to adhere to. Now we're going to go in with this brush that I absolutely love, which has powder on it from Sonia Kashuk. It's sort of a dense, sort of detailed type situation. I love when I'm putting colors and foiling them on the bottom with this. It's awesome sauce. So I'm going to bring it right into this Aquarius shade. And then I'm going to use my spray. Poking myself in the eye. And you don't have to pull your eye out because I have a huge habit of... So that's looking good so far. We're going to put some eyeliner on and things, and then I'm going to blend this. I like to blend my lower lash color and have it sit up under my eyeliner. The other thing I noticed I didn't do was I didn't blend in my highbrow. So I'm going to take this brush from Flower Beauty, and I just take this pointed edge and just pull the highbrow down to meet the shade, the shadow. And then I'm going to take the last color that we used, that pinky color, and I'm just going to rub it there just so that there's not a harsh line. And I'm actually like going very gently. Okay, so I pulled out a liner that I had that I have not used yet, which is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in Perversion, which is the black. And I usually use liquid liner, but I have this and I'm trying to branch out. Oh my gosh, these bangs. I hate these bangs. I can't wait till I don't have these bangs. Just a side note. So I like to pull my eye taut. This is how I feel like I get a really nice wing. And I usually start at the outside and pull the wing out first and then fill in the rest. So I don't hate this liner at all. It's very creamy and smooth. What I don't like is I feel like with pencils I can't get that sharp wing that I want. So I mean I can do a different type of wing, but that's usually what I'm after. And I feel like you have to keep sharpening it like every 2 seconds to get that. So we're going to do a little thicker on the outside, just... I mean, I'll keep using it, but I mean, it's not my favorite, just my preference. Super pointy wing like I want. I'm actually going to go a little bit into this matte black shade, and go into the matte black and just set this, at least on the wing. Yeah, it feels like it's less tacky now. Okay, so now we're gonna go back. The other thing about just going back to talking about the low no buy. The other thing that I want to keep clear is that if you've watched another one of my Get Ready With Me's, you may know that I pre-film most of my videos. And so the other thing is, it may seem like I'm hauling all the time, but I'm actually not. It could have been like months ago that I filmed. We're going to use a new sponge that I got from Real Techniques, and it's a little bit dampened. And I'm going to go into this e.l.f. Bronzed Violet. These are like wet kind of. We're going to go in there and use a little bit of this as a base for our cheek color. And I use this shade right here, and then I'm going to build that up too. This is a very pink color. We're going to dial it down 1,000. I'm going to go in with another e.l.f. product that I got from like a discount haul to sort of soften this baby doll look that I got going on. And this is the Matte Blush Duos in Royal Rosy Flesh. So we're going to go ahead and take this Real Techniques number 300 cheek brush, and I'm going to blend in what I have. Ooh. See, it blends in very nicely. Because I went ham on my brush, I'm going to go in with this clean Kala brush. I feel like... Okay. Next thing I want to try, so I've had this was going to be in my like get rid of it, and this is the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Highlighter Illuminator in
I was going to get rid of this.
103 Who's That Pearl. Because I don't like cream products. But I used it the other day with a highlighter that like didn't have a lot of punch. I used it as a base and it was amazing. So I may use that, but let's see what this highlighter from BH Cosmetics. So I do actually think I'm gonna use this first. And so what I'm gonna do is take this e.l.f. angled contour brush, and I'm gonna put it into the cushion. And use it as sort of like a primer. See, and when I highlight, I actually use like this little horseshoe motion. You're probably thinking this looks crazy. It will, I swear, it will all like come together. With this fan brush from Sony Kashuk, number 129. We're gonna go into this BH Cosmetics shade. And I'm gonna go over top the Wet n Wild. I mean, this is definitely intense. I'm gonna go in with a clean brush. And this is the e.l.f. blush brush. It's like a small taper blush. It does have a tiny bit of powder on it. And that's another mistake sometimes people make, is when they're going and trying to blend stuff in, they use the same brush. It's really important to use a clean brush, because what you're doing is actually putting more product in and not like chilling it out. So I'm so glad I did not get rid of this cushion highlight, because there's a bunch of highlighters that I like. They just don't pack enough punch for me, and this is a great way to get them. Okay, so I got my eyelashes on.
Right,
I actually,
so the last
thing
thing
is
is
lashes on the
lashes.
sides using this BH Cosmetics and Keeping Wild and Radiant Baked Illuminating and Bronzing Palette. It looks like this, and I used this shade here. Love this. And last thing I'm going to do is lips. And I have these two Urban Decay Vice palettes. I never use them because it's like, let's be honest, we don't use lipstick palettes, but they have all these great shades in here. So I thought I would use it for this look, and I'm going to... And I'm going to go into... The nice thing, let's see what that... about the fan brush is you can get it on the tip and get like a lip lining effect. It's not bad. I think it's a little dry, so I'm gonna go in with some type of lip gloss, which I don't normally do. I mean, that definitely helped how it feels. Let's go ahead and use some setting spray. I'm using a new setting spray from Milani Make It Last. Oh, they smell so good. I'm gonna blot. I did a pretty strong blot. I like. I don't hate it. Mister's nice. I've heard good things about this. I normally use the Urban Decay all-nighter, which is fairly expensive, so this is supposed to be comparable. So let's see. I love the Mister on the all-nighter, so we'll see if this one's like it. I'm gonna.
So this is a finished
grab my little fan that I got from
pretty happy
Dollar Tree.
with it.
I like to use this to fan my spray.
Whatever.
And let me know what you think about it. Have you used this BH Cosmetics palette yet? And what do you think about it? And I'd love to see like your looks that you come up with. If there is a particular palette that you want me to do a get ready with me using or a tutorial, let me know. I hope you have a super day. If you're not one of my little Monets, please consider subscribing down below. Leave me a little comment. I love to chit chat. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.